You know, when you walk through a famous city, have you ever stopped and wondered what stories are hidden right under your feet? It turns out some of the greatest, darkest, and most fascinating tales of our capital cities aren't in the museums or palaces. Nope, they're buried deep underground. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take a subterranean tour to uncover the secret histories of 4 iconic cities, exploring these incredible worlds that were intentionally hidden, completely forgotten, or just built right over. All right, our first stop is Paris. And while the city up above is famous for light and romance, the story below ground is, well, it's far, far darker. Believe it or not, there's actually more history buried beneath Paris than exists on its surface.
So back in the 1700s, Paris had this horrifying problem. The city was literally overflowing with its dead. The cemeteries were so full that bodies were causing a massive public health crisis, spreading disease everywhere. The government needed a solution, and the one they came up with was truly chilling.
So what did they do? Their solution was down in this vast, 200-mile network of ancient stone quarries that were just winding beneath the streets. This wasn't just a burial site. It was a relocation project on a scale that is just unimaginable. 6 million. That's how many human remains they dug up from the city's cemeteries. For years, night after night, carts rolled through the streets, piled high with bones and skulls, taking them down to be carefully, almost artistically stacked along the walls of these tunnels.
At the entrance, there's this inscription that warns visitors. Stop! This is the Empire of the Dead. It's a pretty fitting welcome to the world's largest grave, a haunting labyrinth so vast that if you wander off into the unauthorized parts, you might actually never find your way out.
Okay, so from an Empire of the Dead, let's travel to Istanbul, a city that famously spans 2 continents. And just like Paris, its greatest secret is hidden right below the surface. Right beneath the bustling streets, you'll find the Basilica Cistern. Now, this is no ordinary reservoir. It is so grand and so ornate, it's known as the Sunken Palace. Just try to imagine a massive underground hall held up by 336 marble columns that were salvaged from old Roman temples, where the only sound you hear is the constant echoing drip of water. But the cistern holds this really fascinating mystery. You see, 2 of its pillars are supported by these massive carved heads of the Gorgon Medusa. One is on its side, and the other one is completely upside down. But why? Well, historians are totally split. Was it just a simple, practical choice because the blocks happened to be the right size? Or was it a superstitious act meant to neutralize her deadly, petrifying gaze? Next up, we're off to Rome. You've heard the saying that Rome wasn't built in a day, right? Well, the truth is, it wasn't just built up, it was built on top of itself. The city is kind of like a historical lasagna, with each new era just adding another layer on top of the last one. And this process happened over and over again. Take Emperor Nero's legendary Golden House, for instance. It was so ridiculously opulent that later emperors, who really despised him, decided to just erase it. But instead of tearing it down, they simply filled the whole thing with dirt and built new stuff right on top of it, perfectly preserving it underground.
But that's not the only world hiding beneath Rome. Oh no. There's also a vast network of Christian catacombs, miles and miles of tunnels telling a completely different story, one not of imperial grandeur, but of secrecy and survival.
For early Christians who were facing persecution, these tunnels, they were everything. They were a sanctuary where they could worship in secret. They were a place to bury their dead with dignity, and they were a refuge to hide from Roman soldiers. This hidden world was absolutely essential for their community's survival. For our final stop, let's jump way forward in time to World War II London. Because beneath this city, it's not ancient ruins you'll find, but a surprisingly modern underground world, one that was born out of a massive crisis. During the Blitz, as bombs rained down and the city above was literally engulfed in flames, Britain's entire war effort was being masterminded from a secret bunker deep underground, the Churchill War Rooms. I mean, the contrast is just stark. While Londoners were fleeing to shelters, Prime Minister Winston Churchill and his cabinet were living and working down here. This place was a completely self-sufficient command center. It had bedrooms, kitchens, communication hubs, the whole shebang. People worked down there for weeks without seeing the sun, all while directing a global war.
And what's truly remarkable is that when the war finally ended, they just turned off the lights and locked the doors. Today, those rooms are a perfect time capsule, with maps still on the walls and ashtrays still full, offering this frozen glimpse into one of history's most pivotal moments.
So, from a Parisian mass grave to an underground palace in Istanbul, from Rome's buried layers to London's secret war room,
These 4 subterranean worlds really tell a single, powerful story about humanity.
You know, these hidden places reveal so much about us. They show how we confront crisis, whether it's a plague or a war. They display our incredible engineering skill. They reflect our deep human need for secret sanctuaries. And maybe most of all, they remind us that we are always building our future directly on top of our past.
So we've explored the secrets of these 4 incredible cities. But it kind of leaves you with one final question, doesn't it? What forgotten histories, what hidden worlds might be waiting to be discovered right under your own feet?